we got some stuff to look at here. We got DPS numbers, Mythic Plus DPS numbers, Mythic Plus numbers, and the buff numbers that recently came through in this week's reset. We're going to look at all that stuff, where everyone currently is sitting, plus a little bit of extra news on the side because I'm a man of the people and I'm here to help. Unlock the Thunder Drum Misfire mount this week. Yes, your Galagio rewards continue, your loyalty program continues, and your rewards continue. So you can get the mount this week if you hit rank 8. Again, there are catch-up mechanics to be had. Basically, every rank, as I said before, just get about halfway through the raid, and that includes any difficulty or stacking up different difficulties. Do the first 2 bosses at LFR, first 2 on normal, 1 on heroic, bam, you got it, whatever. Just get about 4 to 5 bosses down, I believe, and you should be able to get your next rank up on Renown. If you ordered the Crossroads Anthology, this is a book about all these characters on the cover here and what's going on in the War Within, there's a new cover update. This cover looks pretty damn cool. Some nice new cover art for this thing. You could have pre-ordered this thing already. It is... Jesus Christ. Cartman, what the fuck is Cartman doing in my news segment? I gotta pause that. $30, releasing on November 11th, 2025. A nice Thanksgiving read maybe here in the fall. But that's a cool-looking book, cool-looking cover. Blizzard confirms dinars are coming back. If you remember, I was talking about it just a couple days ago that I felt like we had the rug pulled out from under us because dinars were suddenly gone. I'm like, where the fuck are dinars? They were supposed to be in the Galagio raid track. They were taken out. And then they were supposed to come back in 11.1.5, and Blizzard hadn't said anything about them. Well, Blizzard finally spoke out after, of course, your boy addressed it. We all know Blizzard watches my stream. They addressed it with a blue post. We haven't forgotten, they said. We'll have more details to share about implementation of the puzzling cartel chips soon after the patch goes live. So they are talking about patch 11.1.5, which is going live on April 22nd, so which is next week. So just after that, we should be getting some updates on the dinars. If you don't know what these are, it's bad luck protection. Get your best in slot trinkets essentially guaranteed if you run raid and everything else. So that's pretty good. No one watches this stream. Your viewers are all AI. Very true, Conicia. One of my best AI out there. Thank you for getting that AI text into the chat to confirm that you are in fact AI. Completion rates for Mythic Plus dungeons week 6. So here we go. Nothing really special to see here other than completion rates are down across the board basically, except for the Rookery. Prior to the Sacred Flame as the biggest dipper here, down 6.1%. And by the way, why would this be happening, you ask? What's different this week? There were actually nerfs that went into effect. It's because people are pushing higher keys, most likely. People are pushing higher into the keys, which is going to drop your completion rates. Obviously, this includes all key levels here on these charts. So, yeah, it's going to dip a little bit as you push higher into your key levels and try to get that 3K IO rating that a lot of people are trying to get still to get that Black Spider Boy mount. So, yeah, they're down, but that doesn't mean anything really. Still pretty even across the board in terms of dungeon completions and what people are doing out there. So it's a good mix, good season still. Overall DPS charts. Let's check this stuff out, okay? This is prior to the changes that went into effect this week, but we are going to look at those changes and how they're affecting this chart as well after we look at this chart. We got to get a baseline reading. You know, I'm like a doctor out there, basically looking at how everyone's feeling, but first thing I got to do is get your baseline vitals. So here they are. This is your baseline vitals. Overall damage. Devastation Evoker was sitting at the top before these changes came in, and this is kind of devastating. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of liking the fact that Evokers were falling away with all the dragon scaly boys out there weren't doing too good. But here they are, back at the top. Yeah, great for you guys. Destro Warlock just behind them. Unholy DK, and then Affliction Warlock sitting here. So basically we have a gothic scaly boy orgy here in the top 4. Windwalker Monk, Marksmanship Hunter, Outlaw Rogue, SS Rogue, Fire Mage. They're rounding out basically your top 5. At the very bottom here, the forgotten class of the game, Augmentation Evoker sitting there. Demonology Warlock, Balanced Druid, Elemental Shaman. Not many changes really here. Devastation Evoker did move up a couple spots to take the top spot here in overall damage. But let's see single target damage. Unholy DK is absolutely popping off. Currently, Unholy, I think, is one of the best Mythic Pluser runs as well. We're going to look at a chart that ranks everybody for Mythic Plus runs. But this is looking pretty damn good for Unholy DK. They're sitting in a pretty nice spot. We see Ass Rogue just behind him, Marksmanship Hunter, Survival Hunter, Arms Warrior, Fire Mage. Here, rounding out your, what is this, top 6. Feral Druid still doing pretty good, too. And then Augmentation Evoker, again, at the bottom. Balanced Druid, Elemental Shaman. Still hurting. Elemental and Enhancement, man, they had such a good Season 1, and I don't know where they've fallen to, why Blizzard's doing this to them. I guess they got their 5 minutes of fame, and now Shamans are back to irrelevance. I don't know. Sub-Titty Rogue also sitting kind of low here, but overall, not too much movement. Recently, we look at the biggest movers up and down. Again, this was before all these changes went into effect. Destro Warlock, we did see these hotfixes come in for Warlock and really shoot them up the charts. Destro Warlock up 7 spots. They were the biggest mover up. Ooh. Oh, man, who just kicked off a hype train? Uvo, thank you for this resub with Prime and with me. 5 months of using your Prime here. A complete waste of your Prime, if you ask me, but I do appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Death Knight of our Scourge. The biggest mover down, Survival Hunter, down 8 spots here. And again, these are all pre-changes. Here we go, Mythic Plus. Now, if you want to know how Mythic Plus standings currently are, as I said, Unholy Death Knight doing really good. They are considered the S tier of Mythic Plus right now. They are part of the meta. Death Knight is doing really, really good. You got your mix of A tiers here. Nano, thank you for the Nano Rack. Yes, I like that. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to our Scourge. You see the rest of these here, you got a bunch of A tiers. Balanced Druid, Marksmanship Hunter, Ass Rogue, Ret Pally, Devastation Evoker. Everyone's using them for Mythic Plus right now. And then you enter the B tier right here, C tier. And then nobody's bringing Augmentation Evoker, Shadow Priest, or Furry Warriors into their Mythic Plus dungeons right now. Now, what I would say is, don't fucking worry about this damn chart if you're not running like a plus 20 right now, okay? Anything currently sitting, I don't know, up to plus 12. I mean, does the meta really matter? Plus 12s, maybe it starts to. You're pushing really high at that point. But overall, I mean, these charts just kind of show you who's popping off the hardest. This is a top runs for extremely high keys, 13 to 19. So this is really like people popping off. This is where you're getting really extreme with your DPS, really extreme with the difficulty of the dungeons, and that's who this applies to. It's fun to look at, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't be inviting people from this from the lower parts of this chart. Yeah, and I brick plus 2 keys, that's right. So if we're gonna look at in total what's happening to these DPS charts post the buffs that came in this week, this is really it. So let's look at this chart. I'll pull this down here, and we can get kind of a visual aid of what's going on here. So the biggest buff right now, overall, these are the charts right here. A Blood DK Deathbringer up 3.3% on single target. They're actually up 5% on AoE as well. Then we see Frost DK Deathbringer up 6% as well. Unholy DK slightly down here. Balanced Druid up 4%. Augmentation Evoker up 4%. Arcane Mage up 3.6%. If I'm not, by the way, if I'm not saying a specific hero talent here, it's because the entire spec is up, not just a single hero talent. Like fucking Deathbringer right now for Blood DK, which I'm not even playing. I'm playing Sand Lanes, and I gotta go try Deathbringer because Blizzard likes to buff the damn spec that nobody's playing. Fire Mage for Frostfire specifically up 3.4%. We also see Windwalker Monk, Shadowpan up 2.8%, Brewmaster up 4.5%. Holy Paladin, up 2% overall. That's a pretty nice one for them. Elemental Shaman, up 4.5%. Enhancement Shaman, Stormbringer, specifically, up 5%. And then we see all the Warlock classes, basically. Affliction is up 2.5. Demonology Warlock, up 4. And Destro, not much of a change on single target, but for melee, multi-target, 4.6%. Now, the downers. We did see some nerfs, unfortunately. So Unholy DK looking at a minus 0.6%. Now we just looked at the charts. Unholy DK is really popping off. So I think they're going to be fine. A 0.6% nerf isn't too bad. Except Aug Evoker, that was a mistake and deserves to be left in the dumpster. Look, Aug Evoker has its place somewhere in the game. I don't know where it is, but right now Blizzard seems to think it's not in Mythic Plus or Raid or any other content for that matter. I don't know what they're going to do with them. They need to fix them. They need to change them in some way. Clearly, if you have a class that's buffing everybody in the group to the point where it's actually meaningful, of course people are going to bring that class into their runs, and it's going to become a necessary class. So I don't know how you fix augmentation, honestly. Not my job, but Blizzard's going to have to do something. The other one that took a little bit of a hit here, Guardian Druid, Elun's Chosen, took a 0.2% nerf. And then we see for healing. Overall, let's get into this because some of these are kind of fucking big. We're looking right here at Discipline Priest, down 15%, okay, 15% specifically for Oracle, and down 8.5% if we're looking at AoE. Discipline Priest, Void Weaver, also down 10%. So, I mean, Discipline Priest was part of the meta And this is a fucking hard hit. Now, Unholy is also part of the meta, but they're only taking a 0.6% hit. Healing from Disciplined Priests is down a shit ton. So I don't know what's going to happen with them going forward. People have been playing it now for about a day. I don't think we have the numbers in yet, just as far as like whether they're still part of the meta or not, but that's a pretty hard hit for them. We also see Mistweaver Monk down 1.2%. Not too bad, but just a little bit of a nerf there. And then the rest of these are getting nice little buffs. We see Windwalker Monk up 2.8%. We already knew that Holy Priest was getting a 4% buff here, and then no change for Shaman. So overall, a bunch of changes, to be honest with you, specifically for like what was basically a hotfix. But changes to the meta, maybe only with Disciplined Priest. We'll see how that goes. And Augmentation Evoker, nobody's touching them already. So who knows what's going to happen with them. Make it a tank spec, never support DPS again. Maybe, you know what, when they were bringing in a third spec for Augmentation, remember when that was, we knew that was coming, but we didn't know what it was going to be. Blizzard was already hinting at it. I thought we were going to get a Black Dragonflight version of tanking. That's what I think a lot of people thought, and when we didn't get that and we got the Augmentation Evoker, the first thing I thought was, damn, Blizzard's really putting it on themselves here. If they just introduce a tanking class, it's pretty easy to balance. But when they brought in a buff, you know, a Bard class essentially, I was like, damn, that's going to be a tough one to balance. I don't know why they did that to themselves. Next week is patch. Yes, Cam Shady. Next week is patch. April 22nd, patch will be hitting, so we'll be getting into that content. That should be fun. Just make Augmentation tanks. Yeah, I agree. I think they should just kind of switch it up and make them tanks. I don't know what else they can do with them. Either fix the spec or remove it. Yeah, it's just not playable right now. It's not. It's unfortunate because there were a lot of people who were playing it and a lot of people who got into it during its meta days. And now they got to basically throw it in the trash. Even if they were enjoying it, it's gotten to the point where they're just not even getting invited anymore. That's how bad it's gotten. And usually the bottom guy, okay, you're going to have a bit of a hard time, but I don't think I've ever seen any class in the game not get invited as much as Augmentation's not getting invited right now. It's pretty bad. Oblivion remastered? Maybe. It would have been better if they introduced more support specs other than one class. Maybe make Demon Hunters a third spec. Yeah, give Druids a fifth spec. No, they could. You're right. It could totally be that they just need to bring more support classes in, so that way, okay, every Mythic Plus run brings a support class. That's fine. But now there's like 4 or 5 classes to pick from, right? Rather than just Augmentation is required. That would be fine. Disciplined Priest already kind of exists as a support class, and they've really replaced Augmentation. You could have Augmentation. You could have, like you said, give one to Demon Hunters. You could even give one, I could imagine Monks being a support class. Even Death Knights. Give them a Necromancy support class. I don't know. Could be something there. But there's options out there. Just Blizzard has to kind of tinker around with it and see what they want to do. Obviously, Tinkers. I just said Tinker. I didn't even think about that. Tinkers have been voiced as a support class, right? Dropping bots everywhere, healing, doing all that shit. We didn't get Tinkers. I thought we would this patch. They could have been a support class as well. Give Pallies a support class. They could do it too, yeah. I haven't seen an AUG in queue up for because they're done. They're done. No one's even trying with them anymore. There's a reason why you're not seeing them in queue, and that's because they were literally just like, what is it, blacklisted, essentially. So they started the season out, and they just disappeared because they were not getting invited to anything. What's up, Cahoots? How's it going? Yeah. They already have the most utility in game. You're talking about Pallies? Yeah, I could see a Pally support class, totally. It fits their lore and everything. Why not opening up a book and just throwing spells out there? Yeah, could totally see that.